Welcome back, guys. If you're in the UK at the moment, first week of June, second week of June actually, you are undoubtedly riding a bike if you own one, because the weather is just insane. We're going for a nice easy cafe ride today, so I thought I'd take that opportunity to talk you through my little home build. So this is my Cinelli build. First port of call though, I got to stop off at Evans because I got a flat on the weekend. I need to replace one of my tubes. Bit of a hill, hold on. 5mm valves, testers. I've come down to Dorney Lake to do some easy laps, chat through the bike. Completely forgot that they close it in the summer, which is a bit frustrating. So that's it for today, no cycling. My guy with the gate was so worried that I was just going to zoom through. He closed the gate on me. But basically 2 years ago during lockdown, so many kids came here during the summer, not to ride, not to run, just to like party, drink, and they trashed the place so much that the guys that own it, which is actually a college around the corner, put up all this gate, put up all the gating, and that now they closed it during the middle of the summer. So you can only really ride here. No worries. You can only ride here basically in the winter, and during the summer it's closed to the public, which is super frustrating. Anyway, it's closed now, so we're gonna head down. Guess we head down to Marlow. Right, let's go. Let's roll. So seeing as we can't do a few laps of Dorney Lake, I came out my house this morning and my Garmin kind of clicked in to tell me there's a climb basically right outside my front door called Berry Hill. It's not very long, it's not steep at all, but I think we're gonna go and give that a smash up, see what time we can do on that as a bit of a workout for the day, then cruise down to Marlow and get a coffee. Marlow is such a vibe in the summer. It's about to check back at the end for how we did on that KOM. Go grab a coffee in Marlow. How nice is this place? And then I'll run you guys through the setup I've got on my bike. So originally I wanted to do this video as a bit of a, is it cheaper to build a bike than it is to buy a bike? But that kind of feels a bit unfair because in general it's always going to be more expensive if you build your own bike. So buying a frame and then building all the individual components, that's always going to be a more expensive way to do it. But I built this, and the only way it is cheaper is if you have, and you might be able to relate to this, is if you have a ton of old bikes back at home that you can basically chop up to make a new bike. So I'm going to take you through everything that I bought and stole from my old bikes to give you an exact kind of cost and what it took to build the bike that I'm riding now. So I bought this frame, I built the whole bike around the frame. It's a Cinelli Veltrix 56. Frame obviously comes with the front fork. I had to cut it myself. So if you've never cut a fork down to size, it's quite scary doing your own bung and everything, so that's quite intense. I did everything myself. I didn't have to pay for any labor to build my bike. I did all the mech work myself, which obviously saved me a bit of money. Frame itself, I can't remember, I think it was like 1,800 quid when I bought it. It's a 2001 edition Cinelli Veltrix 56. Then obviously I had to buy the seat post that goes into the frame. I had to buy that from Cinelli because that was the only way I was going to make sure I got one that definitely would fit inside the frame. Wheels were we got from Lun. They are wind space wheels. They're 65 mils. These retail at about $1,300. Rolling on Continental GPs tires. I'm not sure how much they cost. If it was, well, seeing as it was me, I probably tried to get them quite cheap. Brakes, both brakes I stole off an old TT bike. So back in 2012, I bought a Focus Izalco TT bike. Hardly ever rode it. Decided I wanted to do TT. Decided I didn't like TT. Never did TT. But I had a TT bike. So I stole the brakes off that. I also stole the front chain ring off of that as well, but we'll get to that in a second. So both brakes were stolen off a TT bike. I was basically, a buddy gave me his old bike, so I stole the stem and the bars off of that. The stem actually broke, so I had to replace that. So this is a replacement stem. I obviously bought a couple of spacers just in here. Oh no, sorry. That's so good.
Sorry about that.
Little, that's my fault for doing a video in a public doorway. Right, so stem and handlebars we took off an old bike, but I had to replace the stem, so I bought that. The levers and the group set I got from their Ultegra 105s, and I bought those. So front derailleur and rear derailleur I paid for, but then I decided that I wanted to change the wire colors. Changing the color of the outer housing for the wiring meant I basically had to buy new wiring. So you end up buying levers, and then you actually end up buying more wiring on top of that again. So that cost me more money. Seat I stole off the TT bike, and that's kind of, you know, it's pretty battered, but it goes pretty well with the white tape, bar tape I bought myself from my local bike shop. That wasn't cheap. If you can see, there is some like little coloring in there. White bar tape is a very bold choice for a bike, but the white bar tape, the seat and the pedals, which are Look Kios, little white pedals, Look Kios. I'm not even sure Look do a white pedal anymore. Bought these back in 2012. These were on my TT bike, stole them back off that, and they're very cool. The white looking pedals, I thought that all goes very well. I remember paying about 80 or 90 quid for them at the time. Front chain ring comes off the TT bike, so that's a 52. I'm not sure what the rear one is on that. Had to buy a new cassette to go on the Lun Shimano 11-speed wheels. I then replaced the rear jockey with a hollow cage, and I've shot some, I work in sports media, so I shot some content for the Absolute Black guys, and they've kindly sent me a rear hollow cage, but that retails at about £450, I think. But it is so insanely cool, this hollow cage. Look at that. That's a very cool hollow cage. So I took off my rear jockeys off of my Ultegra 105s, and I'll be honest with you, the 105s, you know, it shifts like a 105. Every now and again it misses a few gears. I think it struggles with a slightly bigger 52-inch front chain ring. And then the chain, which you can see I wax, because obviously there's all the wax on there. You can see I wax that. I wax my chain, which obviously helps keeping my bar tape clean. That's a pro tip for anyone who's got bright bar tape. That was a birthday present from a friend. So, but I'm not sure, I mean, that's quite expensive as well. The chain itself's another like 80, 90 quid. So if I was to kind of price it all up, I'm trying to think if there's anything I've missed. No, so a lot of it has come off my old TT bike. The rest of it has come off my other old bike. So I bought the frame, bought the Ultegra 105 levers and group set, swapped a few things out. It's definitely not cheaper to build your own bike, but you do get an incredibly custom bike. No one else is going to have a bike that looks like this. again, very kindly, I work with the Windspace Lun guys because I work in sports media. I shoot stuff for various sports brands. So they sent me the 65mm wheels, which are awesome. But the reason I wanted them because they have the blue and the pink spokes in, which I thought matched the frame a little bit. But that's what we've ended up with. It's definitely not cheaper to build your own bike, but no one else is going to have a bike that looks like that. I'm not going to say it rides the best because I'm obviously the mechanic in charge of it, and I don't really know what I pulled. That was it, the bottom bracket. Last thing, bottom bracket came off the TT, so that's a bottom bracket from 2012. That's an 11-year-old bottom bracket that's a screw fit that I could really do with replacing. I feel like that would actually have a bit of an impact. But other than that, it's definitely not cheaper to do it this way, but so much more rewarding, so much more scary on the descents as well, because you have to worry about whether you're any good at putting a bike together. But I'm hoping that the bung in the fork is held so far. But yeah, it's been a great build, it's been a great journey. I'm always kind of changing little things. So I guess if the question is, would you buy a bike ready built that's more expensive, like a super expensive bike, or do you buy like a mid-range frame and build it yourself that's custom to what you want? You know what, I'd be inclined to say, because performance means nothing to me, there's no point in me having a top-end elite spec bike because I only ever ride it on group rides and cafe rides and sportives. I'm not racing. So I love this. Like, people comment on it, people like to look at it. You know, I think the aficionados of the bike world probably look down on me a huge amount, which is fine, I can deal with that. But I have built myself a nice custom bike. So I guess my advice to you is go ahead and do it and figure it out. I built this off YouTube. Everything I just had to YouTube and figure it all out. Running the cables, everything, like what needs greasing, what doesn't need greasing, how to fit brake pads like at the right angle so that you can actually brake on a rim brake, everything. And then that's it. But yeah, I think it looks good, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. A entirely custom built Cinelli Veltrix. Let me know what you think. So that's it for today, guys. That's a quick rundown on my bike and a lovely cruise around South Bucks. This is where I live. How nice is this? Just a quick update on the KOM. I did 226 and the KOM is 141. So we are a while away from getting anywhere close to that, but still good fun to go and hammer it out. And it's nice to know that there's a little hill 10 seconds outside my door that I can use as a little yardstick as to my fitness. But thanks for joining in for the ride, guys. See you on the next one. Last thing I'll say, look at this top, made by Sumon. There's no zip on it. The zip's on the, like a little half zip on the side. What do you think? Would you wear a no zip top? Too much? Not enough? I quite like it. It does not go with my bike though, and that's what this whole video is about. So yeah, see you on the next one, guys.